So with this ramp-up period, I know today can be a little bit different, at least with what you guys wear. Is there anything particularly different though on your end compared to the first 2 days? Or is it
No.
same old?
Matter of fact, our practice is going to be a lot lighter today as well, just third day in a row. You know, it feels so different than a year ago when we really had a ramp-up period. And then, so, you know, I don't want to ever put our guys in a position where it puts them at risk. Obviously, every time you go out on that field, there's always a risk, but I think that we're always pretty mindful of the third day in a row, and then we'll crank up the intensity level a little bit more tomorrow.
How you gonna break up the QB reps with Aaron not being here all spring, and moving forward to make sure Jordan gets his work in?
Same way we have through the first 2 days of practice. You know, Aaron's taken the majority of the 1 reps. Jordan's getting a few of those, but you know, Jordan's going to get a significant amount of time throughout the course of the preseason, so he'll get the majority of the preseason in-game reps.
Brett rather famously said it wasn't his job to get Aaron ready to play. A lot has been made of, you know, Aaron still, with everything that's gone on, coaching up Jordan, coaching up Kurt. What have you kind of seen in that light?
I just think he's being a great teammate and a great mentor, and I know that's not his responsibility, and he does not have to do that, but that's something that he's taken upon himself, and he's always given those guys nuggets.
And that hasn't changed in a couple days since he's been back now?
No, he's been outstanding in every aspect of the team, in terms of in the meeting room, on the field, and just doing his part as a great leader.
Matt, we saw the second half of last season, Darnell Savage, have a string of games with a lot of hits and big plays. Have you seen him? Are you seeing anything from him where he's taking another step or something different in his game heading into year 3?
Yeah, you can feel his confidence. You can see it when you talk to him, and I think it's translating out onto the field. He's such an intelligent person, and so it's easy for him to take the coaching and apply it to the team situations and whatnot. I think he's doing a really good job of, trying to read the quarterback and anticipate. And I know there was a play yesterday in practice on the sidelines. I talked to him about it. I think he was just being a great teammate, where he kind of hesitated because he had Jair and Devontae running down the sideline and didn't want to cause a collision by any means. But I just think I'm really excited about year 3 for him.
And now we know, obviously, Aaron had some things to take care of with the front office, and yesterday's events maybe put a bow on that. Was there anything that you and he had to do in order to just pick up where you left off from last year?
The biggest thing just was getting on the same page with some of the off-season tweaks that we made to the offense, and we're kind of working through those right now.
And what about throwing and putting him on pitch count? Did he do a lot of throwing during the off-season, or is that something that you have to be kind of mindful of as you're going through camp?
Yeah, I think we're mindful of that with all our quarterbacks. Just making sure that, because having 3 quarterbacks, I mean, that's a lot of wear and tear on the arm, and we don't want to burn them out too early. So he and I did talk about exactly what number we're looking for each day, or being below a certain number, and so we've got a guy out there that lets me know when we're at that halfway mark, and then I relay that to Aaron.
Speaking of pitch counts, is Mason on one too? I know Molson took all those field goals yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like how we're going to do it. Rotate guys each day.
How does the 2-week period before the opener affect, where you don't have that last preseason game, affect how you scheduled your training camp? Did it change anything for you? Do you have fewer practices because of that, or?
To be honest with you, not really, but it's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to be really mindful of as we are in the 2 weeks prior to that first game, how we just operate that week. I know we have to give them a 3-day bye weekend, so we'll kind of see where we're at that point, and kind of what we need to make sure that we're fresh for week 1.
Matt, with this extended time without pads to open camp, What are you looking for along the line? What are you charging like Jerry and Steno with as far as, obviously if it's a running play, these guys can't do much, you know? So what are they getting out of it? What are you looking for from your line play?
Well, I think it's just, how we come off the football, really on both sides of the ball. And, our guys do a great job of taking care of one another, and that's something that we're constantly stressing. But, just the footwork, the fundamentals, certainly some of the banging that typically happens. I've told our guys that I'd like to cut down on the number of gap schemes where you get those hard double teams. That's usually when you have more collisions. And so we want to try to avoid those as much as possible.
Matt, with Jair, it seems like he's just kind of gradually, steadily gotten better since he came in. Where did you see the biggest growth in his game last year, and where would you like to see him take it in year 4?
Well, I really think there's nothing Ja can't do. He's just a great player. He's got great movement skills, great instincts. He can play off, he can play bump. And so I think just making sure that he brings it each and every day, which he always does. You guys have heard me talk about the energy that he brings on a daily basis. And I think that's pretty infectious, and I think it has a humongous impact on our defense and on our football team.
How fast can you kind of ramp up for Dennis and Randall to get into the team periods? And Mike, Dennis's road be a little shorter because he's worked with you before.
Yeah, I think it's just making sure that, they're physically able to go, and then certainly you want the mental to be there as well. So that's something that we'll just kind of monitor on a daily basis, and when we feel it's right, then they'll get more reps.
Hey Matt, looking back at Jair for one more second, what do you think someone like that does for that room with as many young corners as you have there? I know he's not like a 10-year vet at this point, but I mean, still to be able to sort of set a standard there with what he's accomplished so early on.
Yeah, I think you said it. He does set that standard, and just in terms of the energy and effort that he brings each and every day. And I think, Jerry Gray does such a great job with those guys. He and Ryan Downard, and they've got a great rapport with that group, and that's a really good room. So we're excited about that room, and but again, I love the energy that Job brings to that room.
Yeah, I want to go back to Randall too. Does he work getting here early and leaving late to get up to speed, or is there just so much time until the games start? And he's such a smart guy. Can you just kind of pick things up as you go here?
No, there's definitely a strong sense of urgency. I know he came in early this morning and met with Jason Vrabel, and so I know he is working hard at making sure that he picks it up as fast as possible. The one thing that we do have for these guys that is kind of a byproduct of how we operated the first few weeks in the off season is we have most of our installs videotaped. So he's got access to all those tapes, and I know he's putting in the time at night when he's on his own, watching those, and just to try to get up to speed as quickly as possible.
I was watching the quarterback drills yesterday, and the things that you and Luke had those guys use over pass. I mean, they make it look easy, but it's really amazing some of the stuff that they do. You send them home to have to work on these certain drills, and you raise the bar in that area, because we know how important that is to you and how you run the offense. And the other question is, do you still do the bucket drill when you throw the ball in 55 yards down the field?
Yeah, they'll do that drill every now and again. But no, I don't think we have, a ton of different drills that we do with the quarterbacks. But the drills that we do, there's always a meaning and a purpose behind them. And so we've got what we call our everyday drills. And I think the drill you're referring to is the base bag drill. And we know that a lot of the foundation of great quarterback play starts with your footwork and keeping a base in the pocket, because in a moment notice, the pocket can collapse on you, and you better be ready to throw the football. So those guys do a great job in terms of really working hard in those drills, and I think you see improvement every day.
Just been 2 days, but without Kevin, Eric Stoke has had a chance to run with the ones a little bit. Your early impressions of the first-round pick?
Yeah, again, another just great human. He brings it every day, and I think there's a lot of talent there, and he's got to learn the game, and that's going to be a process. It is for all these young players. So, but he's got some of the things that you can't coach. I mean, he's got elite speed, and his change of directions, really, really good. So, he's a guy that we're really excited about.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Sarah here real quick. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yep, just one in here, hey Gordy.
Hi Matt, I was wondering where you guys stand with COVID vaccinations? How many guys have not had it, at least one shot, and how do you feel about how you're doing there?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to be better, but I think we've made a lot of progress. So, all we can do is try to educate the guys and tell them the protocols and the ramifications of being unvaccinated in terms of just the daily process that they have to go through. And I mean, wearing masks at all times in the building, anytime even in our pre-practice, they got to be in masks. And the fines for them are not cheap. So we'll continue to educate these guys. And the one thing that I still haven't gotten clarification of that I hear talked about all the time is the whole 85%. I still don't know what that means, but hopefully one of these days they'll let us know.
Are you there? Are you at 85% by what you think 85% means?
That's something that I'd have to check with Flea with again today because it's changing. But as of yesterday, no, we were not.